What's up, YeshGamers? Robert the Bruce here, and today we're speeding up PS4s. Now first off, a few disclaimers so that you aren't disappointed later in this video. Number one, what we're doing today is basically just defragmenting the PS4 hard drive. There isn't any magical setting being turned on or some secret trick to boost speed. This is similar to what you do on a PC from time to time. I could go into the nerdiness of what defragging actually does, but if you really care, just do a different search for that, because most people aren't watching this wondering about the techie side of it all. Number two, if you have done this recently or have a pretty new system, this probably won't make much of a difference for you. Again, it has to do with optimizing data on the hard drive, but if your system is pretty new, well, there isn't much optimizing to be done. Don't have an unrealistic expectation going into this. I have a launch day PS4, yes, that's right, it's crazy old and still kicking, so I figured I was way past due to defrag the system. Number three, there is very little danger in doing this step, but technically, if your data is being changed, there's always a slight risk that something goes wrong. Power outage in the midst of the process, a glitch in the matrix, whatever. Now, if you're worried, it's always safer to back up your data before messing with it. If you decide to YOLO it, well, that's cool, but you have only yourself to blame if disaster strikes. So, with the disclaimers out of the way, let's jump in. Now, it's super easy, and it most likely won't take that long to finish. Start by turning your PS4 all the way off. This does not mean rest mode all the way powered off. And now let's switch to the ridiculous phone camera for the next part. You're going to hold down the power button on the system until you hear two beeps. It will turn on initially and seem like nothing is different, but keep holding it down until you hear that second beep. That is what is going to boot you into safe mode. You'll need to have your controller actually hardwired into the PS4 for this all to work. Bluetoothy no worky is the technical explanation, so just plug in the USB cable and press on. Sony, in their infinite wisdom, has HDCP enabled in safe mode, which means ye old capture card wouldn't play nice. It's only a couple screens though, so we'll switch to janky monitor pictures just for a second. The option you're looking for is Rebuild Database. Highlight it, press X, and you'll see the confirmation screen. I wouldn't be too worried about the whole it might take a few hours thing, because I've not done this in years, and the process took like 3 minutes on my system. But who knows, if you've installed and uninstalled bazillions more games than me, well, it might take longer to clean up the data floating around on your hard drive. After you've said goodbye to friends and family and told them this might be the end, press X. The system will restart and load into this screen, where you'll get an idea of how long it will take to finish. Again, just a few minutes for me, but your mileage may vary. Once it's all done, your system will boot up back to normal, you can unplug your controller and turn it on, and you're ready to go. When it was all said and done, I fired up Battlefield 5 again to see if game load times, map loads, etc. were drastically different. Loading into the game itself was a few seconds faster. For loading into an actual map, I really didn't see much difference. Maybe a second or two, but I mean that could be related to server latency, establishing some connections all the way, etc., etc. Again, if it really does get me into a map a second or so faster, well, I'll take it, because that's often the difference between being able to get a plane or a tank or something right off the bat. But I wouldn't expect this to cut your map load times in half or anything. You're mostly just going to hope for a small incremental improvement here or there in your system performance. And that's it. It doesn't take long, so if you're feeling crazy, give it a whirl. Let me know in the comments if you feel like your system is running any better after, because I'm curious if anyone will actually see huge improvements. If your system runs exactly the same, well then go leave a comment telling me how angry you are, dislike the video, leave a second comment ranting about this being a scam. Oh, and make sure you misspell a lot of things and randomly use all caps. Hopefully, though, you'll see some improvements in game loads, install times, something. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the battlefield.